Alan, hello everyone. Uh, a few quick things before we start, or before I start and you listen. One, as you can clearly tell, I'm alive. I'm not hurt. I have not been abducted. I haven't had anything happen to me. So, as you can clearly tell, I'm fine and I'm okay. Uh, Secondly, the first word I used was in Arabic. I'm learning that here, obviously, and I'm going to start using it in these videos until just start completely doing them in Arabic and you all start hating me a little more than you already do. Thirdly, just to dispel common myths, first of all, I'm not in a desert, okay? Look. As you can see, forest, trees, greens, and buildings. Not a desert. Okay, so there are some people who thought I was going to a desert, but I'm not, and I tried to tell them that. Anyway, so now that we got those out of the way, one big point. As I said, I'm doing these weekly, so hopefully I'll be able to put them out every week. Usually today on Sunday. It's currently about 7:05 my time. So I'll probably be filming these around this time after I've done with homework and all that. Also, for this video, I'm just going to use this video to cover the first half of the beginning part of me being here, as I have been here for about a week and a half. Then later on in the week, I'll put out a second one covering the rest of the first time I was here, and then after that things will go along normally, as in I will just put out one every week. So on that note, I'll just get started. So I left Nashville around noon to go noon on Nashville time. So then I went to JFK Airport, then from there I went to Charles de Gaulle, then in Paris, and then from there I went to Orly Airport, which is about a couple miles, maybe like 10-15 miles away from Charles de Gaulle. And then from there I flew into Fez, and then from Fez down here to Ifran, the town I'm staying in, and then up to the university, which is El Akhawayn, meaning two brothers, because this university was created using Saudi money at the request of the then King Mohammed V of Morocco. The university was created in 1995 by royal decree to create interfaith dialogue and to pretty much create an American campus in Morocco. Effectively, I'm not going to go into the whole history of that because you all don't want to hear about that. So once arriving here, I settled in and I had a couple days to fight jet lag. And during that time, I had to go through 4 days of orientation. Those of you who have been through a university orientation know how painful it is. We'll extend that over 4 days. It took me 26 hours to get to the university. So I had to fight serious jet lag, really serious jet lag, and I was in no mood to go through orientation. But they pretty much split everything up that we learned over the 4 days into sections, pretty much teaching us the Moroccan ways and what we needed to know to survive here, and what is good, what is bad, what you don't do, why you don't show people the bottom of your shoe, why you shake with your left hand and eat, why you don't do anything with your left hand at all, because you use this to wipe with over here. So just yeah, don't do anything with your left hand over here. So yeah, that was what I did for 4 days, and then they're really trying to encourage us to befriend Moroccans, which is actually not as hard as it sounds. The people here in Morocco are incredibly friendly, probably the most friendly people in the whole Middle East, I would argue. and it won't take much for them to befriend you, especially if you're an American. You're here from America. They're curious. So, yeah, so I haven't really made many friends yet in Morocco, but I'm here for 9 months, so that will happen with ease. So yeah, and then so they're really pushing that, and they also said to get your roommate will be your best friend while you're here, and so far that's been the truth. My best friend, my roommate's name is Jens. Don't want to mess up this one because it's really bad if I do. Yassine. His name is Yassine. And he is, like me, a fifth year, a super senior. He's been going to I'm doing this all in one take, so forgive me. I don't have a fancy camera and a nice video editing system. He's been going to this university for 5 years straight, and this university is the Harvard of Morocco, so pretty much him going here is a big deal, but he's middle class, like pretty much every Moroccan in the rest of the country, except for the kids that go here. The bulk of the people that are here, in terms of students, are from like the elite, the most rich people in Morocco. So yeah, and they're very westernized here. They are. It's really funny how westernized they are. But yeah, so he's very nice, very knowledgeable, very friendly, and he doesn't like being here because there's nothing to do, and that is the truth. If you were a Moroccan, there is nothing to do here. That being said, however, we were told, and it's held up to the fact that Ifran is the tourist attraction center for Moroccans. Like, the wealthiest Moroccans every year descend on this place because it is the #1 tourist stop for them. So with that much said, it's a very wealthy town, but there's not a lot to do. There's only one movie theater in the whole nation, and it's in Casablanca on the other side of the country. So I'm going to try and see as many movies as I can here with all that being said, because it's a 4 or 5 hour trip to Casablanca through many different ways and means. But yeah, so that little detour aside, finished orientation on Monday, and then on Tuesday I went to a town, the hometown of one of our student ambassadors. Its name is Azrou. It's I guess the best comparison I could make is that it's like a tiny Mexican town, except better. It doesn't get a lot of tourists, but that being said, it does pretty well for itself, and it's not that bad. I enjoyed going there. I had some very, very good Moroccan food. Oh, another thing, Moroccan food. Oh, good God, it is so good. You have no idea. I think I'll come back to America as a snob because of how good the food is here. I would have been spoiled rotten by how good the food is here. And the tea. The tea is probably some of the best tea I've ever had in my life. Granted, I'm only 23 years old, but that being said, I've had more tea in my life than most people have in theirs. So, that being said, the tea is really, really good, and apparently people will teach you how to make it. So I'm going to learn that while I'm here, so I don't have to subject myself to horrible tea like I usually have to do. Anyway, so I went to Azrou, had food there, went to the bazaar, didn't do any shopping. Again, here for 9 months, have to kind of spread that out a little bit. So if there are people there are some of you who want souvenirs from me. Well, you're going to have to wait. So I haven't gotten anything for anyone yet. So if you want a souvenir, you have to wait. And you're going to And as we get closer to the time when I'm actually going to get souvenirs, I will bring that up and how that's going to play out. So yeah, at the end of the day, though, we were there from 11 to 4, so 5 hours in this nice little town. At the end of the day, we went to the Grand Taxi Station. I'll explain the taxi system in a minute. And, well, hell, I'll just explain it now. So there's like petite taxis, little taxis that you can only fit 3 people in at a time. They're for inner city traveling. Then there are grand taxis, which deal from city to city. You can fit 6 people in these things because they're all old Buicks and Mercedes from the 90s, and they're beat to hell, and they do their job. They do their job, and it's really cheap here. Another thing, everything here is cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Unbelievably cheap. It only cost me to get from Azru to Ifran and vice versa. It only cost 18 dirhams, currency Morocco. Well, it cost 8 dirhams, which is about a little less than $1 to travel that distance, which, if you know anything about taxi systems, especially taxi systems in America, you know that's a bargain. Anyway, so yeah, so when we were on our way back, we go to the Grand Taxi Station, and there are a bunch of people there, and apparently they're all there to go to Ifran. So our tour guide, bless her heart, she's such a great person. It's almost like Israel, but it's not. It's Israel. A little more Arabic. She then goes into the thick of it and starts arguing with the people controlling the taxi thing and all that, and just lets them have it, and like they're getting into it, and we all go and sit down, and she starts arguing with this slightly large elderly lady. And the thing about Moroccan interactions here is that they're very close. They're like this close to everyone, and they're using their arms, they're waving them about, and they're making all sorts of gestures. And the thing you gotta know about Moroccan dialogue here, how they talk, is it's very passionate, very passionate. What we as Americans or as Westerners or anything else, what we think is like pissed off and angry and stuff like that, it isn't. It isn't. It's just so, I think it's wonderful. I love it. It's very expressionative. So back to the story. So she's getting into it with this old lady, and they're in each other's faces. And she goes back and she says, okay, after they go, we're next. So a taxi comes around. This old lady and a bunch of people like locusts, a swarm, a horde, gather around this taxi and jump in, and they're arguing with each other and all that about it. And then finally the lady gets her way and they leave. So our turn comes around. A taxi comes over, and she asks if we can use him to go to Ifran. He, after a few minutes of talking, he said, yeah, fine, jump in. All of a sudden, this guy and his wife come in, and they want to buy the whole taxi. That's another thing about the taxi system, is technically you can, the price is the price. And again, it cost me 8 dirhams to go from Ifran to Azru. You could buy all the seats in the taxi and just go by yourself. It's a dick move, but you can do that. You can do that. And that's what this couple was trying to do. They tried to buy these seats, and then other people wanted to buy seats, but Israel goes in there and she's like, what are you doing? No, we're all a group. We are all going to the same place. These people aren't. These people are going here, 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 and here. So we were here first, and so this huge argument, and I'm just sitting back, and I'm like, Okay, we're probably not gonna get this, but we get it. But the guy demands to be paid right then and there, instead of usually getting paid at the end of the trip. So she goes, everyone, I need your money now. I just whip out a 50 dirham, and I just said, I'll pay for everyone. Let's just go. So they reimbursed me. So we all get going. We're all going there, and Israel is just like, this is what pisses me off about Morocco. It makes me so mad. And she explained to us all what happened. So it was pretty intense. It was really intense. I liked it. I like the intensity here. Let's just hope the intensity doesn't boil into political scenarios, but that's not going to happen. Morocco is a very politically stable place. The chances of something happening here are zip to none, because there's an unspoken honor system and stuff like that. But anyway, so I get back to Ifran, get back to Akhawayn, and get back to my room, talk with my roommate. Me and him talk so much. We spend hours upon hours of talking. Last night, or the night before, we spent 5 hours just talking about movies and everything. So really, again, really great guy. And that's pretty much wraps up the first part of me being here. Maybe in between break. My class break tomorrow, or after my class, or maybe on Tuesday, I'll talk about just how it was academically my first week here, and maybe tell some quirky stories or some factual information or stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much how the first half of my week went. Very enjoyable, very interesting. I guess I'll just hit with one funny little fact right now. Cats here are evil. Evil, 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 evil! They're flea-ridden, they're horrible, they spread disease, no one likes them. Then again, dogs are apparently treated worse, but cats are everywhere here. I hate it! So yeah, if you see me, I'll probably rant about that every now and then, just about how many cats there are here, of all shapes and sizes. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this one. I'll record more later, and hopefully you all enjoyed this one. Give me feedback or anything like that if you think I should make it more comedic or I should make it more serious or anything like that. I take those into serious consideration if I'm going to do these things. So yeah. See you guys later.